So, Richard, what can we expect from today's show?
You can expect three good friends talking about a subject they love very much. That is not Married at First Sight Australia. That is professional wrestling, and particularly BWR. So I think it's nice, actually. I was just saying before you guys come on that it's nice to actually just have a space to talk, because on show day you don't get to do that very often, do you? So it's just nice to be able to just talk about the things we love.
Absolutely.
There you go. There you go. Lucy, first time on the show. Hopefully you're excited obviously between these two guys.
Oh, I love these two guys, honestly. What are you laughing at?
Nothing. Carry on.
Yeah. I love Youngie. No, it's always good vibes with these guys. So yeah, I'm excited to see what we all come up with and ramble on about, really.
I mean, Matt, you're always behind the camera, right? So I bet this is nice for you as well.
Well, to be in front of it, no, I find it oddly unsettling, to be honest. No, it's good because, like I said, you don't often get a chance to talk on show days. It's all business and last minute stuff in it, so you don't often get the chance to. So yeah, it'd be fun.
There you go.
Very
so this is show
usually on show day. We're all running around doing various different things, so we never really get a chance to. It's literally yeah, you're right, yeah, okay, good, yeah, see you in a bit, and that's literally it on the show day.
That sounds like you're joking, but that literally is it.
It literally is, yeah.
There you go. So this is show for three with Lucy Openshaw, Richard Young, Mark Ashley. All the things left to do is roll the intro.
Oh, there we go. It's a bit weird, isn't it, having an intro? I feel very special. Yeah, absolutely. And now I know like what the people that you edit regularly feel like, Mark. I'm just going to come and say it straight off the bat. Like, you work in a job, you do a job. So Mark, just to maybe explain what Mark does. Mark is like I guess he's our director, editor, producer. He does everything that is like video based at BWR. By the way, we might as well. Should do you think we have to explain who we are? As in BWR?
No.
You think we should do that? No.
It'll come out during. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll come off and ask you the juicy stuff straight off the bat, off the mark. You're a man that has flown across the world to do this job. Who are the dickheads? Good people to work with.
There aren't any. There isn't. Honestly, I think I've been asked this before, and I gave the same answer. There's no one who I've met who I've been like, oh, not them again. Oh, never. And I'm not interested in people as long as they can pose in front of the camera and make my stuff look better. It's all good. It doesn't bother me. Do you know what I mean?
But the thing is, I think is what is perhaps not appreciated. We appreciate it, but perhaps not appreciated by the general public is the fact that you make people look good as well.
I'd like to,
in your role.
I'd like to think so. It's you have some days where you're not feeling it, and you're like, oh, get it wrong. It's all wrong. It looks crap. It looks crap. It looks crap. But I don't know. I just like getting. I can't explain it, but the feeling when you get a really good shot, and I'm like during the show, and I'm like dead chuffed myself, and I'm like, look, smile. I'm hoping no one sees how much of a geek I am during the show when that happens. But you know when you've got a good shot.
Yeah. Was you always a fan then? Like, did you grow up a wrestling fan, or is it something you stumbled into?
Massive fan of wrestling. Yeah, it's from the age of 5. I remember when I was about 5. I still remember. I've got a really weird memory for like stuff when I was younger. Not what I did last week, but when I was younger, I remember everything. And my friend had playing cards with him. I was like, didn't know what they were, and they were WWF cards. And obviously since that day, it has never stopped. Never stopped.
I was similar. Like I didn't, because we didn't have Sky, so
we did.
Oh, did you? Oh, you're a posh house, you see. You're a bit. You're loud though, aren't you?
Far from it. Yeah. Far from it.
You're a bit far from it. Absolutely. But I was the same. It was the visual. I remember going into I did a paper round, and I remember going into the newsagents and just seeing WWF magazine, and it was just a picture of Randy Savage on it, and I never knew about it. But straight away looking at it, oh my god, like what's that? That's mental. And then you discover people that you go to school with, like, oh yeah, like WWF, I watch that, and then it's kind of spawns from there. Lucy, what kind of age was you when this wrestling thing kind of was a thing?
About 29.
Really?
Yeah. So I was never interested in it as a kid. Like one of my best friends, she was like, "Oh, I'm staying up watching WrestleMania," and then she'd come into work, like, into school, really, really tired. And I was just like, "Why? What's the point?" And then it was only when my ex Rick, he really liked wrestling, and my mate Jimmy was like, "Why don't you take him to like the UK tournament? You know, when the WWE did the UK tournament." I was like, "Yeah, all right, that'll be a cool weekend." So I bought tickets, and I was like, "Right, okay." In Blackpool, yeah.
I was there. I was on the Saturday night.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It was so good. That was my first ever real like experience of wrestling, and I went with, in theory, I took a book with me. I'll be like, do you know what? I'll take a book with me. We were quite far back, so I could just sit at the back and read while he got really into it. And I ended up getting so into it that we bought night 2 tickets like on the day, and we were like on the ramp for night 2, and that was it. It was just obsession from there. And then we went down to like watch Wolverhampton to watch like some of the indie shows, and then like, yeah, just really got into it. And then he started training at Fighting Spirit in Liverpool, and I was like, oh, I fancy a do at this. So I went along, and then I was like, I am shit at wrestling. This is not for me. It hurts. I can't throw myself about. So I spoke to like James Drake and Zach Gibson, and they were like, well, why don't you do like social media for us on the night of the shows? And I was like, all right, yeah, so that sounds good. And that's where it all began.
That's mental. So you've learned the business kind of at an accelerated pace, haven't you?
Yeah.
That's because you're only 30 now. So I mean, like 1 year.
Exactly, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously we aren't, all of us now are. Oh, you're not Lincolnshire based now, are you, Mark? But obviously
No.
you've been in this area. So did you, what with yourself, Mark? Did you before coming to us, before coming to BWR, who did you know that was here, or who did you work with? How did you kind of get involved? Because I'm not sure of that story.
I got a text message off Adam just out of the blue one day because he's seen some stuff I've done for Becca at Fight Factory that I was doing.
So you never, at that point, had you met Adam?
No.
So Adam, just to explain to people, is wrestles as Tyler Devlin, and he is involved in the organisation team at BWR. So yeah, just to explain that. So you never met him. You got a message because you were doing some stuff at Lincoln.
That he's seen some videos. He said, "Do you want to come along to our next show and do it?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And that was the first show of 2018, and it was at Luke Carly's, I believe. It was when it was Adam versus Drew Parker was that show.
Oh yeah.
So that was my first show. I think you'd done 3 or 4 before I joined, roughly.
But yeah, we weren't that involved. I got involved in the second show. So I thought I was blacklisted from Grimsby Wrestling up to that point, but they gave me an in. But I'll explain that story later on. But
there's still time, Youngie. There's still time.
100% there's still time. You know. Hello. Oh, hi. Oh, I was our photographer Simon there. Hi, Simon.
Oh, Simon.
He should have jumped onto this actually. We could. It would have been nice to have Simon here as well. But then saying that though, we need viewers, so please stick. You know.
Yeah.
Please inflate our egos and give us at least one viewer. It's greatly appreciated. So,
but sorry, just to lead on from that. Yeah, no, and
sorry,
I've been involved ever since. Sort of, I haven't left. Just part of the furniture, aren't I?
Yeah, you are part of the furniture, absolutely. As is Lucy. There is a team. So I think it'd be interesting to kind of talk about what happens on a show day, typically, because it's probably. Oh, thanks, Scott Bell. That's very sweet.
Oh, I love
He
Scott.
loves Scott.
He's the best. He's the best referee I have ever worked with, and that's 25 years. That's pretty
He's
good. Go.
amazing.
That he's amazing. He's the best.
So obviously when Scotty Rourke wrestles, I obviously care deeply about that boy, and I am always very happy when it's Scott reffing because I know he's in safe hands. Not that I'm discrediting anybody else, but I just know Scott knows his shit.
And he's got the best facial expressions you've ever seen on a referee.
Yeah, and he's a slut for a ref bump as well.
Oh,
and
he
he's
loves
small.
Oh, I reckon he subscribes to an OnlyFans account, which is like nothing but ref bumps. You know what I mean? Like gets off on it. He's into that shit. Absolutely. I actually started as a referee before I
thought you were going to say you started OnlyFans then.
Yeah, so I should start that OnlyFans. Well, I can tell you this story. So I was refereeing a match between Colt Cabana and Johnny Storm in Morecambe, the Morecambe Dome, and my trousers split in the match. So that's some OnlyFans shit right there.
Oh God!
And we're not just talking like a little hole; we're talking like the full seam. When I bent over for something, and suddenly I heard somebody in the front row go, "Ref, I could see your ass!"
Oh no!
Yeah, luckily I had quite decent pants on.
So I was speaking to Vicky Haskins a few weeks ago, and she had the exact same issue where she was ringside for Mark, and she was like, she got backstage and she was like, "Oh shit," and it was really bad. I was like, "Oh mate," she was like, "I could have charged for that."
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's. I couldn't get away with charging. They were asking for refunds. But actually, my trousers got given away in the raffle as a prize. So
I love that.
So you know, you give a bit, you take a bit, don't you? So yeah,
love a good raffle.
Absolutely. But yeah, we'll talk about raffles. So anyway, you were saying show days. So I think kind of what I think people might not appreciate is the effort a show day is. So let's go and talk about everybody's kind of contributions to a show day. So the building kind of tends to open for us at the Memorial Hall in Cleethorpes, maybe 10, 11 o'clock. That's when the ring setup starts, right? And then the production side of it then comes in. So what time how far in advance do you tend to get to a show, Mark? And when does your work begin?
It depends what needs doing on the particular show, but typically I'd say 1, 2-ish, roughly. Yeah, 1, 2 in the afternoon. I make sure there's any like pre-tapes need doing with anybody. Chase them up, see where they are. Make sure whoever's in gear is in gear. If I've got extra stuff need doing, I make sure that I've let the people know beforehand to be there earlier. There's always last minute videos need doing. Thanks, Adam. But yeah, and then it's sort of just like getting cameras ready, get the cameras set up, settings, and then ready to roll. But it's partly that, but it's also a social gathering. You get to chat to people, catch up with people. You don't see that often. So yeah, that's why I also like to get there a bit earlier as well.
What about you, Lucy? Are you an early dweller? Like to be an early dweller, or you like me, where you like to sneak in, kind of like maybe 2 or 3 hours before a show, go unnoticed?
Kind of... Yeah, because there's not really much for me to do beforehand. Like all I do on a show day is like the content as it's happening, like live stuff. So I usually get there a couple of hours earlier just to like, you know, say hello. Usually I try and aim it just before Town finish their match so that I don't get caught in the traffic. So usually about 4:30, I'll usually set off from home so that I can get there without getting caught in the traffic, because I've made that mistake before. And yeah, again, it's more of a social thing of like, you know, getting people like catching up and stuff, and Like if anyone needs help with like setting the merch up or anything needs picking up from somewhere, I'm usually the one to go and drive and get it. And yeah, just get there and really enjoy, usually with a hot chocolate in hand. And just I like watching people planning as well. People planning matches is one of my favorite things in the world, because it's basically just this. Everyone's in like quiet and it's just
yeah,
literally, and like you'll see people just walk off and just walking off, just going, and you're like, what are you doing? But the context behind it is great. But I enjoy watching, like, because people get to go in the ring and do stuff and just practice stuff, and I just find it really fun to watch. So yeah, normally a couple of hours before I normally get there.
it's definitely a great people watching experience, and it being kind of backstage or kind of pre-show at a wrestling show. It's definitely kind of like it's an interesting thing where. Oh, by the way, from my perspective, so my job often is to try and get wrestlers to get backstage and get ready. That is
5
like
minutes to doors, guys.
Oh.
5 minutes to doors. Get the fuck behind stage.
Yeah, it is like herding cats. Like honestly, like it's the auditorium was the worst one, and I'll say it. It was man like friggin' Derice. He's like, right, get your shit. I'm like, come on, the doors are open in like 2 minutes. Come on. I'm just putting some flyers out. Come on. Like,
Yeah, of course, they were everywhere, weren't they?
Oh, he's a God love him, and
Man's
his
a
PR
grafter.
machine. But he's a grafter. But my lord, when the pressure's on, you got to realize. I think it's easy for wrestlers because wrestlers turn up. They can turn up when they like. You know, often an hour, 2 hours before the show. What's my match tonight? Great, off I go, plan it. But everybody else, doing all that, absolutely. But everybody else, we're the ones that have got to clean up the venue. We've got to make sure everything's on time. Got to make sure everyone's at the. That's another thing. Wrestlers who just suddenly decide halfway through the show, oh, I know I need to get to the merchandise table, then moan when there's no bloody room on the merchandise table. Jesus. Already I feel quite cathartic during this whole experience. So, so Mark, you do work elsewhere besides BWR, don't you? You do other stuff. How is your workload? Are you managing it okay? Do you want more? Am I touting you for business? What is the situation? What is the current state of play?
No, I'm always open for new stuff. I'm doing other stuff other than wrestling as well. Trying to get into more stuff rather than just wrestling. As much as I love wrestling, it's not the most money in the world to be made. There you go, I said it. But no, I'm busy. Yeah, busy most days actually. If I'm not out somewhere, I'm on the bed editing something. There's always something that he's doing. But it's just like even for my own like social networking and stuff, getting my own stuff out there. That's a full-time job in itself. Just constantly getting content out, making videos. It's not quick. It's not a quick process. People don't realize you can do like a 30-second video and it's taken 4 or 5 hours, like sometimes. But we keep on moving. But yeah, other companies, I do other stuff. So I've just finished a show for Burning Heart that I did their double 1 week. Lucy was there.
So good. Big shout out to them guys, because I only went to the Sunday, but I had such a good time. And I like everyone there. It was such a wholesome little day.
You were the last person I expected to see as well. You were literally the last person I expected to see that day. I was like, oh, Lucy.
Yeah.
But no, it was really good. And Lauren and the team are really nice people.
In fact, I'm wearing my Burning Heart. I'm wearing my Burning Heart vest right now.
They make you feel very welcome, and it was really enjoyable. And the venues were good, and the matches were really good as well. To be fair, they were really good. I do a couple of shows local to me as well. So I'm in Yarmouth on this coming Saturday doing a show.
Is that a big tomorrow? Is that big top wrestling?
No.
Oh, you've gone quiet. I can't hear you then.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
DOA and Yarmouth. I've done their shows.
Oh,
in the
DOA.
past.
Yeah.
Just before COVID, I've been with them. So I like the Yarmouth shows because they're 5 minutes from my house. So yeah, no travelling. But no, I'm open to doing other stuff. I'm always open, whether it be filming a show, just grabbing content, whatever your video needs. I'm here for you.
There you go.
Hit me
Whatever
up.
you feel. Yeah, hit him up. But before you hit him up, why don't you see an example of his work, of course, then subscribe to the BWR on-demand service, where you will see the best of Mark Ashley's work. Not to say that his other work isn't the best, but I think this is the best plus one. So, see, saving us a job. So Scott Bell asks, what have been your favourite matches in BWR? I can tell you mine straight away.
Go on.
Go on then.
Without mine is the final match between Scotty Rourke and 2-Bit for the Cruiserweight title. And the reason why that is for me, now probably people might watch it and go, oh, it's a good match. It might not be the best technical match, but for me, it's the feels, it's the build, and it's everything that went into that story, and the payoff. Everyone played their part so well in that story. I especially give massive props to Jenny, who is the most self-deprecating talent I have ever worked with. She will not ever give herself credit, and she deserves massive credit for the role she played in that story and everything that went along with it, and the way that match built, the ending, which was incredible, with Jenny taking the hit. She finally gets it. The crowd go up. The way it is what I love in wrestling, as a payoff to a great, great story. So mine is Scotty Rourke versus 2-Bit.
That was a fantastic match. I was in tears watching that. It was brilliant. I think we both were. I'm pretty sure me and you both were, and Sai.
We were.
You know, it was just, an incredible match. And
I wasn't. I remained professional.
You're crying on the inside, Mark.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. Only for the edit, because it's about 45 minutes long, that match.
He's a long one. Yeah, it is a long
one.
What's your favourite, Mark?
I've got a few. I'll probably do a top 5, but in no order.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would go Ricky versus Robbie at the second match, not the first. The third match, which was late 2022.
Is that the Iron Man one?
No, it's one after that.
Okay.
It was when Ricky was champion. So late 2022, that one.
Oh yeah, because he won the title in the Iron Man match, didn't he? That's right.
Yeah. And then I liked the tag team street fight as well. That was actually the same show. It was Tyler and Scotty versus it was 2-Bit and
Thelwell.
Tom Thelwell. That was a really good match. But then I really, really liked Kip versus Rob at the 5th anniversary show.
Yeah.
Leon Slater versus Miles Kamen. That was a really good match. And I'm trying to think, there was one more as well. Why don't I remember? There's so many. Versus Rampage Brown. Yes, that one as well. There's my 5.
Will and Rampage. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Big hosses being posses, absolutely. What about you, Lou?
I've got terrible memories when it comes to matches and where they're from and who's done what. However, I would love to give a special shout out to the Robros and the Lycosses, because that was incredible.
That was good. Yeah, that was good.
I think the Lycosses gave the Robros the perfect platform to show what they're capable of. And it was just brilliant. That was one of my favorite matches. I feel like a proud mum to them boys, to the Robros, because obviously we've watched them come up from being, Evo Academy they were in like the kids club with Connor and stuff, with Scotty, sorry. And yeah. And yeah, it's just amazing to see how well they're doing. So yeah, that's going to be one of my standout ones. Definitely.
Oh, you know what I was going to I was going to say exactly the same thing. If anyone has is this your missus trying to get you some more money, Mark?
Look how beautiful she is.
She's a
good.
knob, isn't she?
You're such a good-looking couple, the both of you.
I know, it's disgusting, isn't it?
It's disgusting. Your personal goal when it comes to your role in wrestling. I mean, for me, I will say it now. Once my family are bored of it, I'm done. So I've done everything I want to do. Like this is my 25th year this year, and that's so everything I've kind of I've never had a goal because I kind of stumbled into this, and I've just loved it. I've loved it all this time, and I still love it, but I've loved it on different levels. The first time, because at the beginning, was because I just got to travel with my mate all the time and meet all these people that I never thought were like I had a chance of meeting and doing stuff with. And now it's the other way. Now it's seeing friends of a different generation be successful and great in what they do. But the buzz for me now is obviously the fact that my family love it. But I'm also not fickle in the fact that she will get bored eventually. You know, there probably will be a point when she's a teenager where it's like, oh my God, Dad, you're so cringe. In fact, it's coming anyway. The cringe thing's already kicked in. So from a personal goal perspective, my goals are done. It's just a case of trying to enjoy it as best as I can. And once my family are done, that'll be me done. So there you go. What about you, Mark?
I don't really. I've done quite a bit. There's not really an end goal, is there? Just carry on and just.
Your wife's asked this, so you need to give an answer.
I know. There isn't really anything I'm striving to aim for. Obviously, getting paid more money to do it is the aim, isn't it? At the end of the day, I've got a family to feed. Yeah, it's kind of. I'd like to do America at some point. That'd be cool. Whatever's involved in that would be great. But other than that, just keep on doing what I'm doing and just keep getting opportunities and hopefully doing a really good job. You know, that's it.
With you, Lucy, because obviously you're in the area now, aren't you? So do you see doing the shows with us almost like it's just a nice day out and you get to work it, or are you serious about, would you like to do more outside of this?
So before COVID, I was literally probably doing about 3 shows a week doing what I do for BWR, and ring announcing and interviewing. So I was literally all up and down the country doing it. If there was a midweek show in Liverpool, I'd be there. Like I did TNT, Future Shock. I literally was so busy with it, but I didn't have a career at the same time. So now I've got a career. It's harder to do that because, you know, working and like traveling a lot, it's knackering. I think I've already probably done most of my goals, but I'm still doing it because I love it. Like I went to Burning Heart and did their socials for them, and I went to Catch on Monday and I did Scotty and Danny Propper's match for them, and like I'm more doing it because I enjoy it, not for that it's a job, because it's not really a job, but it definitely paid the bills before COVID when I was doing it a lot. And yeah, I just really enjoy it, and I get FOMO if I don't go to things. So like the thought of ever missing a BWR show like hurts. There was a time when I wasn't going to be working for BWR, and it really upset me, and I just thought I can't not do this. This is like, it's one of my passions. I just love it. I love seeing the people there. I love the atmosphere. I love the fans. Like, it's just a lovely place to be. And nothing was going to stop that. Oh, Beth, that's well cute.
Very nice, Beth.
Beth, shouldn't put them to bed, for God's sake.
Mate, she's getting you some cheap labour here. So
Yeah.
No, it would be cool though.
But yeah, I've done quite a lot that I'm very proud of. Like, you know, doing like the socials and interviewing at 1PW where we had some amazing talent. There was some amazing talent that I got to work with. I got to have a really cool chat with Ruby Soho about her farm.
Oh.
Like I don't know how much I'm allowed to say about this, but like stood in like a circle with Rob Van Dam while he was passing a joint round, and I actually said no to Rob Van Dam's joint because I was driving and I'm a good girl and I don't do drugs. However, that's one of the coolest stories I've ever got to tell. Like that's the coolest thing ever.
I think
and like, Chris Jericho said he liked my hair once. Like just cool little shit like that.
Yeah,
is just it's the stories and the memories that it's just ace. I just love it.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with like memories of like stories and people you've met, people you've seen, people who are filmed and got close to. But for me, it's kind of like I'm always looking for the next thing to do. Like, do you know what I mean? I don't just stay still. It's always what's next, and I get really anxious when there's nothing like coming up, and I'm like, oh, I get really like, come on, something. I need to do something. But it's you're right. I mean, just for 1PW, one of the funniest things.
It's fine. It's been over a year now.
Yeah.
One of the funniest things I ever did was film Greg and Colt in Dunkin' Donuts.
That was amazing.
So funny. Honestly, Greg has me in pieces every time I see him. He just makes me laugh. Such a character. Bless him.
Greg's great. I've known Greg for probably nearly as long as I've been involved, really, and I've done Greg's site. So through Greg, I met Bret Hart, which is really cool. That was really, so he did a show. He promoted a show in Colchester, and he booked Steve Knight for it, and I went down with him, and then I knew Bret was there, but I was like, I'm not gonna say it's Bret Hart. And then I literally walked into the dressing room, and he was there. He was having a smoke with the UK pit bulls. I was like, oh my god, there's Bret Hart having a smoke, and he was the nicest, the loveliest bloke, and I was like, oh my god, that's so great. That's all down to Greg.
It's cool because I've not met anybody who I've been like, you're a dickhead. Like personally, anyway. I can imagine that, there's been especially like with the bigger stars, should I say? None of them have been like that. Yeah. I don't know. I must be quite lucky.
I think I'm the same.
I think it's different now, and I'll get to Mark's question in a second. But I've seen the change in, how can I put it, maybe the professionalism standards over the years, like slowly, and I think that the less that kind of drink and drugs have been involved in wrestling. I've seen some people in really bad states over the years, people that have been on the road for years and years and unfortunately have to rely on certain substances or certain addictions that have kind of got them through. And unfortunately, things like that, when you're taking regularly, don't tend to make you the nicest human beings, just purely because of the effects of it. But now, certainly in the last few years, I was interested when we went to 1PW because that was the first kind of big talent show that I probably worked in for maybe 10, 15 years at that point. And I was wondering, I was like, oh, okay, what's the atmosphere going to be like? And it was never, you're right, there was never any egos there, really, was there? Like all the Americans that came in were always super affable and like really approachable and easy to work with. So yeah, I have met some dicks over the years, definitely not. But I think the business has changed, I think, for the better. in that sense.
Yeah, I don't think
so
people can get away with as much as they used to. And even I've seen a change, you know, post COVID and post other things. It has been a massive change, and attitudes have changed, and people are just taken more seriously that it is, you know, an art and a job, and it's not just a lads club anymore.
Yeah, I think so. That's a big. You're right. That's a big thing, and I think as well, like people can't get away with it now as well because if someone's be acting like a dickhead, the camera phone's straight out and it's online within seconds.
Call them out. Yeah,
Call them out.
accountability.
100%, 100%, absolutely. So you can't like it, and this is what I mean. It's getting very deep now, isn't it? But like when the whole speaking out movement happened, it was because a lot of people were sat in silence for a long, long time and felt that they didn't have maybe evidence of things going on, and therefore they couldn't say anything. But now we're in a different environment, and yeah, you're completely right. There is a professionalism standard, I think, now that is expected, and I like to think is adhered to most of the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Mark Brown, sorry about your delay in this, Mark, but he asked, what would be your dream match in BWR? Now, I'm thinking, because technically you could ask, this could be anyone. I could say The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin, but obviously that's not realistic. So what I'm going to say is, a talent that we have now in BWR and a talent that realistically you would like to see in BWR. So if we go down them roads, so I'll start because I've already got mine. I would love to see the Robe Roads versus the GYD. I think that would be great. I think you know, two local lads against the most established tag team that Britain's produced a long, long time. Great heels, great kind of. I think that will be a ton of fun. So
and they've had so much experience, and both with just wrestling and teaching, they learned so much. That would be an incredible shout, to be fair. They'd take them under their wing, and it'd be amazing. I've got a lot of love for GYV, like a hell of a lot of love for them.
Yeah, they've given back as well, I think, which is there's a lot of people we'll talk about that in a second that worked in Britain for a long, long time and still give back, which is like massive, massively important for the business. So have you two got anything on top of your heads that you're thinking of?
Ooh.
I've got one that is the first match that came to my mind because I just think it'd be amazing. Lizzie Evo versus Scotty Rourke. She'd beat the shit out of him, and it would be incredible.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I'd love to. If it's just her beating the shit out of Scotty Rourke, then I'm all.
It'd be so good, and I know they've wanted to wrestle each other for ages. To be fair, like they've been talking about it for ages. So if that could actually happen in some way, that'd just be amazing.
I'm picturing it now.
You fucking what, Scotty? You fucking what? Right.
This is a really tricky one. I don't really know. I'm a bit stumped on this question. But honestly, there could be so many.
Who obviously you do shows outside of us. So, like, of the shows that you do outside, is there anyone particularly that you've gone, oh, I'd love to see you in BWR?
I mean, there's a few. Probably. There's so many. You know, like when there's so many, you can't think. There's just that many. Ones that stand out. Oh, good God. This is really hard. This is really hard for me. I really don't know. I hate when I'm put on the spot because then my mind just goes, everyone wants to answer. Now I'm not even thinking about people.
All right. I feel like I'm putting pressure on doing that.
Come back to me. I'll have a think.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Mark Brown, that Mark Ashley's unable.
Sorry, I'm crap.
Sorry. So we did a big show last year, didn't we? We did.
So good.
So good. at the Grimsby Auditorium. We ran it with 800 plus people in there, which was amazing. If you could bottle that experience and bottle that atmosphere, how often do you think you could live it? Because as much as I enjoyed it, I feel like the stress of it is like a once in a year experience. What about you guys?
It was a lot. For many different reasons, it was a lot, but it was weird because I'd had quite a hard day that day. And then as soon as, so I'll be completely honest with you, as doors opened, I was up in the changing rooms having a panic attack. I was really not good. Connor was like looking after me because I was just really struggling. And I can't remember. I think someone came and said, right, Lucy, the show's about to start. And I was like, shit. So I got my phone and I was like, right, okay, let's go. And I just sort of snapped out of it. And I went out into the auditorium and everything was fine. Everything was fine. But up until 5 minutes before, I was literally hyperventilating in that little room, like literally sobbing. But then as soon as like doors were open, lights were on, like, and I stepped outside, I was just like, yeah, this is where I'm meant to be. It's fine. Everything's fine. And it was amazing. But the stress from beforehand, fuck that. Like, that was so horrible. But afterwards, well, I say afterwards because I was obviously in hospital with Tyler Devlin until 3:00 in the morning. But afterwards, the feeling of like it being such a successful show was just amazing. And yeah, if I could bottle that up and basically bottle it up from the second I stepped out into like where everyone was to getting in bed that night and being like, oh my God, we did it. Then yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, it felt like a culmination of like the previous 7 years of work and building, and like, I mean, that show had a lot of like people involved in stories and people who have come up with us, and it was great to see, even from Dan winning the Rumble. That was great to see. Reese and Rogan hitting table spots, seeing Robbie X there. Honestly, it was so good. But I think I'm gonna, and my discussion about this is going to time with this question here. So, from Katie, what was your highlight from the auditorium show? That my parents were there.
Oh,
yeah, that's nice.
And they've never been to a show. They know what I do, but they've never been involved or really know. And to have them there watching and actually enjoy it was great.
That's nice, mate. It is lovely. And I think that's kind of similar to me from a highlight perspective, was looking out in the crowd and seeing so many people that I know. And not just that, I mean, because I've been doing shows in the area for so long, I see people in the crowd that were there 20 odd years ago and it's still there. And it's almost a feeling of, you know what, we've all done this together, haven't we? We've got through rough times, we've got through the shit, and we've done it all together.
But on the flip side as well, there was a lot of people who I didn't recognise, who I've never seen before. So, but that was really good to see as well. It wasn't just, it's great having your regulars who you see all the time. It's great, but seeing new people to be exposed to it and hopefully grow it further was, yeah, really good.
Also, Ace Matthews.
Oh my God, yeah.
That's. I think you should upload that if you get a chance. I know there's copyright involved because it's obviously copyrighted music, but it just, if anyone knows the talent of Ace Matthews, and he absolutely stole the show by doing a parody of Eminem. And that's all I'll say. It was wonderful, to the point where people that didn't know him, who maybe didn't realize he was a bad guy, thought he was the best in the show. Like, people go, "Oh, this guy's great."
I didn't know that was happening, so I'd not even listened. I'd not even read the run sheet for that show, so I literally I had no idea what was happening. So when he came out and did that, oh my God, I popped so hard. It was hilarious. It was so good.
It's magical, and that's the part. I think it's funny when we talk about kind of favorite matches and stuff earlier. That for me, like I'm a storyline and moments guy, and like you give me them all. You can have the best 5-star matches in the world, all great, but like
Boy.
boy. Oh, let's talk about boy.
Boy.
Let's talk about boy, because boy.
I cried at one point when what am I crying over boy for? But it's the story and the emotion that you follow with that story, and yeah, it's just wholesome.
So, boy, we will refer to him as boy on this, is a student at the training school that Ace Matthews kind of took under his wing, and basically they did the whole kind of gimmick where Ace was boy's kind of master, so to speak. Kind of he was training him to be the next Ace Matthews, but the crowd loved Boy from the start. And that's a lot of it is down to Telf. That is down to Ace Matthews, because he Near UK says, I personally prefer the stories and characters to myself. I remember that way more than moves. Absolutely, because everyone does moves, right? But it's people that get you there. And so Boy, when Boy would come out with Ace, the crowd would chant for Boy quite early on. And Boy has got this amazing, natural, likable charisma that you can't buy, you can't manufacture it. He just has it. And
no one expected that. I know that sounds ridiculous.
I didn't.
No, none of us did. None of us did.
How he came out and was like just so authentic, it just made everyone fall in love with him. And everyone's like, how is Boy the biggest one over at the show?
Because it wasn't forced. It was just
so natural.
Yeah,
I'm
quite proud of when we did the full turn. Sorry, I got the light on. When we did the full turn, when we did the night where Boy finally hits Ace Matthews, it's one of my proudest moments, because we went through that and kind of I was like, okay, let's go with it and let's do this, and we went through it, and that reaction when he turns around and belt shots it, the place comes unglued. It was like people were on their feet. It was incredible. And then and that's actually as well. And the other thing is, and I hope this is going to be a bit of a test for him now, because I hope that he finds his own identity now, because I honestly think as a wrestler, he will be good enough to go across the country and work, because he's really good. He's a really good babyface, and he's a really good worker. But at the moment, we're proud to have him in Grimsby, of course we are. But a lot of the thing with BWR has been the fact that we want to get these local talents that don't get looked at and get them to spread their wings. And I hope that kind of Boy can do that eventually, because he's that good. Same with the Row Bros, same with them. I hope that kind of they get a platform one day. So actually, something else I was proud of. We'll go with this then. Dopper6 asks, in your roles as BWR ring announcer, cameraman, and Instagrammer, have you ever been in the wrong place at the wrong time and took an accidental whack? Lucy, have you ever been whacked?
I've been close, where like, especially when I was ring announcing, like back in the day, if there was like a hot start and I weren't told about it and I was just like, shit, get out of the ring, that's a bit scary. But touch wood, I've been lucky. I've had it a couple of times where, like, when I've been like filming and they've like the wrestlers have gone out into the crowd and stuff, it's been a bit like, oh shit, there's someone there. Oh, sorry, I'm in the way. But I've never come out with have I? Hang on. I'm sure I had a gammy leg at some point.
Gammy leg.
I don't know if that was related or not. I don't know if it was related or not. I'm pretty sure it was. Like, someone might have stood on me or something by mistake. But you kind of get like, you kind of have your wits about you, but it's really hard. Like, especially in like the main event from the last show, when there was like 3 different like fights going on in different areas, and you're like, oh shit, I'm missing this, I've missed that, bollocks. And then you're like, oh, there's someone behind you, and you're like, that can get a bit stressful. But I don't think I've actually come out with any like injuries or anything. I think it's just been a bit of like oh, sorry, mate.
What about
I
you,
bet
Mark?
Mark
Have you,
has.
you must have got
Yeah.
you must have got in
Kick
the
in the head
way.
or something.
No, just a few little ones. The BWR, I think one of Reese or Rogan got pretty close to me once, like really close, like with a kick, but it didn't connect. Miles came out the ring too quick once and smacked my lens hood off, which pinged off into the crowd. Camera switched off, turned it back on. It was fine. I got a kick the other week at Burning Heart from Tom Scarborough. He did his blooming knee slide to the
The
3
ref.
count, and I was like, whoa. That's probably actually in all the years, that's probably the most I've been hit, like as in force. Tom Scarborough's foot as he came towards the ropes. Yeah.
Amazing. Youngie?
I think I have as a referee, because when I was like refereeing, it was in really small rings, so like tiny rings. So it was like especially when you were doing tag team matches, it was so easy just to be in the way of something. And I'm sure I've been scurfed a few times, just kind of. I don't think so as a ring announcer. I think maybe the only thing for me, obviously, is one, not to try and split my trousers, and two, trying to exit the ring as gracefully as possible. And I've still not learned how to do that really. I always go
envy you, Youngie. I envy you. I've never been in the ring, never want to get in the ring. But the other month I went in the ring to do in-ring introductions for the main event, and let's just say I'm not doing that again. I watched the footage back, and I looked like a 60-year-old man, like crawling. It's painful. It was horrible. Never again. Not a chance.
I remember my dad. So there's a show back in Bolton a couple of years ago, and they were doing in-ring photos, and my dad had a couple of drinks, and he decided to jump over the top rope and got in, and everyone just like shouted and like clapped him. He's a 60-year-old man, and he literally just flipped over the top rope. I was like, what the hell?
But as well, like I'd rather not do it, because like you don't realise, and it's like the ref, the announcer, the wrestlers in the ring, and you're with the camera, you're there bouncing, like you literally can't get.
More bouncy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't realise that. You don't realise how kind of like, and all of a sudden when it takes somebody running up and down or whatever, and you kind of like, bloody hell, like, you know. Yeah, absolutely. God bless anybody who gets in the ring and does that for a living, because it's flubbing heck. Like it's you know, you get people that work shows 2 or 3 times a day during the summer holidays and stuff for camp shows. You think, God, like, stop that.
No.
Enough respect for anybody. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
The next show is on May. No, June. May, isn't it? May the 31st. The Riot Rumble. Because everybody loves a rumble.
Yeah, we
they
do.
are
Do they?
Oh, okay. So, no, are they an arse to shoe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
They're an arse to book as well. Let me tell you that.
You suddenly, the only reason is because you're suddenly in a thing where you're trying to like get everything in frame, and you got that thing happening there, but then you got that thing happening. You end up and then it just whatever. I'll just shoot whatever.
Yeah, just get what you can.
Yeah,
and I hope the guy the other side's got something different to you. So you're constantly looking on the other side, like, where are they? Right, I'm going to be here. Oh, they're.
I try and concentrate on like the entrances, and then I'll just kind of get action if and when I can. But as long as I've got everyone's entrances, and then everyone has some form of content from that night, because I do it for the wrestlers. Like, no offense to BWR, I love BWR with all my heart. However, I do it for the wrestlers because I know obviously content is so important for them. So even just having a 10-second clip of them coming out, if they put that on their story, that's extra content for them. And it's lovely when it's just so nice when I'll go to a show and they'll be like, oh my God, are you doing socials? And I'm like, yeah. They're like, oh my God, amazing. And I was like, and that just makes me feel dead good, because like then you get like, you know, but it is hard. Like sometimes I'll do it where it's like, sorry, I'm going off on a tangent here. Sometimes I'll do it where it's like individual clips, or I'll put the, oh hang on, stop it. Or I'll get like a 2-minute video clip and just edit them all together. If I do that, I'm doing it on the Sunday till about 3:00 in the afternoon. So it's like it's Mark, you'll know it's hard work editing, and like
it is hard work.
Yeah,
it's fun. It's fun, but it is time consuming.
Yes, it's time consuming, but it is fun because I love watching the matches back and being like, "Oh, that was a great move!" Like, "Oh, look at that was ace."
Because the last thing you want to do as well is rush something out, and then do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'm forever doing videos, I'm posting it, and then an hour later, I'm watching it back, going, "Oh, I should have done that. Oh, I should have put that on there." Oh.
At Burning Heart, it was awkward because Lauren gave me her phone, but the internet was absolutely shocking. So I'm trying to upload. I've never used that brand of phone before. So I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. So halfway through, I was like, I'm using my phone. I'll sort it out. And then the content all got completely like mixed up. And I was like, I can't deal with this. So I spent the whole day after just editing it all together so that it could run smoothly. I didn't need to do that, but for my own happiness, I was like, I need that. She was like, no, it's fine. Everything's fine. Don't worry. You got content out there and I don't care. And I'm like, no, it has to be right.
Of course it
That's good. To be fair, though, that's a promoter's dream.
It shows you care as well.
Because it could have been very easy to go, oh, nice one, promoter says it's okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
Like,
I take pride in what I do, though.
Of course you do.
Yeah,
that's
a good thing.
Yeah.
I do. Not anymore. I've been doing the same. I've been doing the same app for 10 years. I'm joking. Please buy a ticket. Okay, Dopper asks again, do you miss working any of the old venues, Lucalis, Casablanca, Wonderland, etc.?
Not Wonderland.
Definitely not Wonderland. It is the coldest frigging venue.
All I ever hear is how cold that was that night. I wasn't here then.
You have no idea.
No, I've heard it was the coldest thing in the entire world. Like every person who I've ever spoke to about that Wonderland show just said it was cold. Is that
show you how cold it was, Luz?
Where Tyler,
show you how cold it was?
Go on.
Video of Rob. I got a clip of Rob, right?
Oh, is it where the steam's coming off?
Yeah, that one. That's how cold it was.
Was that the show where Tyler Devlin like nearly degloved his finger?
No, that was the
one before.
Show.
Right.
Yeah. No, I think it was after. It was a show after.
The one Lucy's on about was the one before. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So the to give you a bit of context on that, the one that show, the Pack show, the one that was the world's coldest show. I think that is the best effort we have put into a show, in the sense of that the venue when we moved, like, so what had happened is that we had an opportunity to book Pack, and we all the shows were done for the year essentially. Like we had one more show, I think in November, and that was it for the year. But we had an opportunity to book Pack, and it was his first shows out of WWE. This is before AEW, and it was a chance to. Adam rings me one day. He's like, "I can get Pack." I was like, "What, for November?" He's like, "No, he's only here for December." I was like, "Well, we ain't got a show in December." And he was like, "Yeah." He was like, we can do something at Wonderland," and we'd never run there before at that point. I don't think we'd done a show in that part of the venue. And it's an amazing shell of a building. It looks great aesthetically. Once you get all the lights in and stuff like that, it looks great. It looks really kind of like gritty and kind of like, a dream to kind of like do an empty shell of a room. But that's what it is. It's an empty shell of a room. No changing rooms. Nothing. None of like that. It was what it was. And it's in December.
It's like a big tin, isn't it? It's literally a big tin on the seafront.
A big tin on the seafront. So we started doing the stage show literally like 2 days before the show. We were allowed to kind of slowly get things in, and it was not getting, like, it started cold and it got colder. And we were like, what can we do? What can we do to kind of like try and get this place warmer? Because for punters coming in, this is going to be awful. And we tried getting like industrial heaters. We tried to get kind of anything we could try and get our hands off, just to try and get this place going, but we couldn't do it. And the poor boys and gals who were coming out in skimpy outfits and must have been freezing their ass off. But there was people in the front row literally sat with like scarves and coats on and hats. But
blankets.
They did. And
yeah,
blankets.
I think I've seen
Yeah.
a picture of Gabby with a blanket round her, bless her. I'm sure I have.
Yeah, but
Good
yeah,
view.
absolutely. And but we did it. We pulled it off, and I think from an effort point of view, it's probably the best effort for a show we've ever done, because it was literally a 6 weeks from getting the day, promoting it, selling the tickets, and getting out. And we sold 300 tickets that night as well. Like, it was a
That's
big
ace.
crowd. It was, so we did it with kind of 6 weeks notice and pulled it off. But yeah, God, that was an effort. It was a real effort.
So I've got like a side question from here. What has been the coolest venue you've worked in? Doesn't have to be the biggest, but the coolest venue.
Oh, so that's a good question. Unfortunately, there wasn't a massive crowd in it, but the Leeds Town Hall was a beautiful venue, really gorgeous, old classic,
It's quite
aesthetically.
circular.
Yeah, it's in the round,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, it's gorgeous venue. I did that for FWA a few years back, and it's gorgeous building. It was only about maybe 200, 300 in it. It maybe half full, but yeah, what a beautiful venue that place was. What about you, Mark?
Probably Edion in Osaka.
Oh, name drop. Oh yeah, I've got to say your Mark's been to Japan.
Yeah.
There was
Yeah.
I think it's because it was so different, and the atmosphere was so different to what I was used to, and yeah, it was amazing. It's not the biggest arena. It's like what, 5,000. So it's not huge, but no, that was really cool to be involved in that, and even like the press conference and the signings the day before around the area was unbelievable.
That's cool.
Lucy, what about you?
Probably. So I did Sheffield City Hall, which was beautiful. But the coolest has got to be the cave. When Breed
the cave.
Breed did the cave. Now, you just reminded me by saying how cold it was in Wonderland, because the cave was fucking freezing.
Everyone got ill, didn't they?
Yeah, cave flu. We say that's where COVID started, but it probably didn't. But everyone got poorly.
It's damp on your chest, isn't it?
Yeah. So all the wrestlers were literally getting. I'm not joking. It was like a shed. It was literally like a wooden shed they were getting changed in, and it was so cold, but it was so cool. It was ace. I got a chant of Lucy's in a cave. It was just it. That was my peak of ring announcing, and I don't think anything will beat it. It was just amazing. It was so much fun. So cold. Everything went wrong on the day. We didn't have a canvas for the ring, so it just looked awful. And then something else happened where I'm sure we had to rig up a sound system, and there was wires everywhere, and it was carny, but it was great. It was so much fun. But yeah,
I bet the acoustics were incredible.
it was ace. Yeah. These dulcet tones in that cave, brilliant.
That's yeah, I would love to just watch that. I would love to be in the crowd. When I saw it online, I was like, oh my God, that's incredible. That's so cool.
Yeah, it was ace. The terrifying thing was where the ring stopped. Genuinely, there was probably about that much of a gap, and then it went to a sheer drop. So
really?
when people were running the ropes and stuff, if them ropes it'd have been a terrible thing. And I know I can't remember who. Someone went down there and wrestled. I want to say Chuck Mambo, but I might be completely wrong there. It was just silly. It was so silly, but it was great. But just that little town, that little village where it is, just for one day, just got full of wrestling fans and wrestlers everywhere. It was really cool.
That's great. I love that.
Yeah.
Like a festival vibe.
Yeah.
That's great. TGS UK Production says, is there a chance of a return to the auditorium this year? The one in November seemed a massive success. Maybe. There might be a chance. Keep your socials ready. Maybe in the next week or so. That's yes. Paul Bellers, is RKJ at the right Rumble? My boy is desperate for a photo with him. I'm not sure actually. I am not sure. I have a feeling he might be. In fact, I'm going to lean on 60-40 that Ricky Knight Jr. is there, I think. But all the announcements will be coming out in the coming weeks. There is still quite a while for the show. That's why you haven't really heard anything at this point. And there's only 90 tickets left as well. So there's like nearly 2 months before the show, and there's only 90 tickets left. So if you haven't bought them yet, all ringside are gone. And you can get what you can, absolutely, because everyone loves a Rumble. But I won't be there, unfortunately. I'm missing the next one.
No, who's ringing outside?
Nobody yet, I don't think, Lucy.
Okay, I might put myself forward to that because I miss it.
Put your name in the hat.
Yeah.
And the good thing about the Riot Rumble as well, that most of the time you're on the outside.
Yes.
Because obviously, so yeah. So.
Well, what's your excuse? Why aren't you joining us?
I'm on a family break.
Oh, fair. You going anywhere nice?
Just near Brid area, just a little caravan break. It was purely because we booked it ages ago, and then when the dates of the show came out, it was one of them. So yes, it's the first show I've missed for quite a while, maybe 4 or 5 years. So yeah, so there you go. So I won't be there, but I will be. I will have FOMO.
Yeah,
I will have proper FOMO. Once I'll be watching Rory the Tiger on stage at Haven, thinking, damn it, it should be
love that.
Should be a memorial wall. But there you go. And saying that though, I think our kids are now too old for Rory Tiger, so we'll see. But yeah, it's more Ariana Grande now.
Yeah.
So
we've got John the cat here. He looks very happy to be here. Yeah, he's gone now. He's named after John McAtee.
We could talk about John McAtee all day long.
We could, especially now he's at Bolton.
We had a great day out, didn't we, at West Ham that day?
Yeah, we did.
Bruce.
Yeah.
We did. Hopefully Wembley in May.
That'd be good fun.
Hopefully.
I've already done town at Wembley twice.
Oh yeah.
1998.
1998. Yeah, absolutely. I did Wembley twice in a week. I did. Big up John McAtee. Big up John McAtee. Absolutely. I did twice in a week. I've done all the towns Wembleys, including twice in a week.
See, I went to Bolton. I went to Wembley for Bolton when it was the FA Cup. I can't remember what year it was, but we were against Stoke. Stoke absolutely battered us. And that was the longest drive home I've ever had. I'm pretty sure it was like 5-0. It was the longest drive home in the world. It was awful. It
was weird going to AEW and coming out of Wembley with no pressure in the world. Like going in, this is nice. I'm just going to watch a wrestling show. Yeah, absolutely. No stress. Like no, it was like, this is lovely. Sorry, I know people maybe watching this going, what are they talking about? Should we still do an ooh thing every time Lucy gets in the ring, or is that exclusively for Yogi?
No, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I'm not actually doing this job. I've literally not even spoken about it to the powers that be. But whoever does it,
do you honestly think the powers that be have organised anything yet at this point?
And also, would they say no to me?
Exactly. And plus, as well, your expenses will be low. So that's
there we go. They'll be free.
Slightly off topic, Richard. Do you think Grimsby will see it out for a playoff spot with the club? I do a podcast on a Sunday called DN35, which talks about Grimsby Town a lot. But I will answer that question because you very kindly asked. If somebody had said to me at the beginning of the season that with 6 games to go, we've got a bloody chance of the playoffs, I would have bit your hand off. And now I'm in that situation where I'm genuinely quite stressed about it. The injury situation is rubbish. That's what scares me. But I think nowadays we can beat anyone. I think this team is really, really good. So I'm going to be positive and say, yes, I am driving the promotion train all the way to Wembley. Come and join me. I will have my conductor's hat on, sit in first class, and I will serve you tea and coffee.
It could be worse, Youngie. You could be Ivano Benetti in 1995 with the bucket.
The chicken, mate. I was So, the legend of Ivano Benetti will never be forgotten. The buckets in town. I put lots of my pocket money in them. My paper round money went in them buckets, Mark.
Bless him.
Bless him. I think we're getting the fact that we're talking about Grimsby Town suggests that probably we might be coming to an end here. I'll do a kind of a final wrap up. I think in the next 12 months, okay, who would you like to see as BWR champion?
Well, I'm bored of Scotty Rourke. He can fuck off by now. No, I'm not bored of him. But I would like to see someone take that off him. I'd like to see his smug little face not have that. Who to have it though is a very good question.
Mr. Cayman, probably.
Yeah, he's incredible.
Handsome boy.
He's put a lot of work in. He looks fantastic.
Yeah, he's very good. He's very, very talented.
Yeah.
He's a star. He's got this is it is about a thing about having star quality, and he has star quality, doesn't he?
Yeah, wherever he goes as well. Like I've seen him like on the camp shows. I've seen him like BWR, other places, and everywhere. He's literally got the crowd in the palm of his hand. And then it's not just that, but he goes out and he's a bloody great wrestler as well. Yeah, he's got it all, hasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think we can all agree on Miles, absolutely. And I think one thing I will say as well, I hope the powers that be hear this. We need more women in BWR. We need more women talent. I think because so I hope in the next year we can see a really competitive women's division. Unfortunately, circumstances have affected that this year at the moment, which hasn't helped. But I'd like to hope that there is so much ace women's talent in the UK right now, and I hope that we can get more because they are over with the BWR crowd as well. Like people love Lizzie. When Tonga was champion, people love Tonga. Like
shout out to Holly Barlow. I'd like to see Holly Barlow in BWR because I think she's a star.
I've heard good things about Holly Barlow.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I like Holly.
She's from like the Manchester scene, and she took a break for a while, and now she's back. She's just absolutely smashing it, and she's like the nicest person, so she deserves good things.
She's lovely.
Yeah.
Good people deserves good things.
Yes,
absolutely.
Absolutely.
They do. 100%.
Yeah.
So there you go. So I think we'll wrap it up now, shall we? Well, I've got to get to the train station to pick up my wife, so I'm going to have to get going anyway. So cheers, guys. It's been lovely to have a little catch up.
Yeah, hasn't it? Thanks, guys.
Yeah,
thanks guys. Thanks, Liam.